Lucille, I'm not sure that it's not libel. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think I've got a very strong case in a point of law.
Yes, Auntie Annie.
I mean, just look at that. Could any sane person honestly say that that hideous portrayal, that nose, that cruel mouth, bore the vaguest resemblance to me?
Your coffee's getting cold.
I've heard of artistic licence, but this is monstrous. I don't know what the man was thinking of.
Or woman.
Beg your pardon?
Well, it could have been a woman, you know.
Oh, it's not only you know, Mrs. Walker. There's other people and all. I mean, just look what he did to George Greenwood. And him as nice a chap as you could wish to meet.
Not only is it an unwarranted attack upon me personally, my shoulders are broad enough to bear that, but it's also very damaging to me as licensee of the Rover's Return.
Who is this Candidus, any road? It sounds a daft name if you ask me. Sounds like a bit of a pansy.
You might well ask. It's supposed to imply truth. Truth, I ask you.
Unbiased, outspoken and blunt. I looked up for the crossword the other day.
Unbiased? Unbalanced, more likely. Well, we'll see if he's quite so outspoken when I've finished with him.
Hey, she's really got her knickers in a twist this
I'm
morning.
glad you think it's funny, Hilda.
Oh, well, you must
Look, when my
admit.
Auntie Annie's in this sort of mood, I've seen flies drop off the ceiling.
Why?
And if you fancy your chances, you know, if you want to giggle, I believe they're looking for someone part-time at the Chippy.
Phone in, Nana.
The Weatherfield Gazette? Oh, this is Mrs. Anne Walker of the Rover's Return, Coronation Street. Yes, I'd like to speak to the editor, if I may. The editor speaking. Anne Walker here. Yes, I think we have met at a function. Actually, I've rung up for a little information. Thank you. It's about the cartoons in this week's Gazette. Flower show personalities, that's right. Well, I wondered, could you tell me the name of the artist? Can't? I think you mean won't, don't you? Very well, we'll see about that. Goodbye.
Not very helpful, Emma.
You know, Mrs. Ogden, the people who hide behind a cloak of professional ethics are the last people to respect them.
Darling.
Thank you, darling.
And look, I don't care who he is. If I catch hold of him, I'll give him the hiding of his life.
I have heard he's a 6-foot wrestler.
I don't care how big he is. I've got right on my side.
That won't do you any good when he comes at you with a bunch of 5.
Oh, Rick, you're no better.
What have I done?
We're a counsellor.
If the editor of the Gazette wants to print cartoons, I can't do anything about it, can I?
Well, here's one reader less that he'll have next week.
Well, that'll worry him, won't it? Because you never buy it anyway.
Hold on.
You don't. You get it from your Ken when he's finished with it.
Oh.
Oh, and one for the staff supervisor.
I'll have a large tonic with a gin in it.
Bed? Yes.
Although I don't think I should be drinking with this rogues gallery.
And what is that supposed to mean?
A joke, Mrs. Walker.
Well, it's an extremely poor taste. And if I were you, I would be very careful what I say, considering you were not one of the victims involved.
Aye, aye. Touch a nerve, have I?
Very raw.
Oh. Well, if it was me, I'd try to see the funny side. You'd have to be a misery guts not to see something funny, wouldn't you, Albert? Oh, dear. I'm going to get my legs slapped if I go on like this. What are they all so touchy about?
I reckon there's going to be a hanging before nightfall.
Oh, well, I don't think it's anybody from round here.
All right.
Oh. Somebody who just snipped in to see the show, that's all.
No, you'll have to do better than that.
What do you mean?
Well, I happen to know that the Gazette is printed a day before the show. That's why there are no results in this week.
Oh, and how do you happen to know that, Counsellor?
I've not quite finished them back windows, Mrs. Walker, but I'll come back and do them after. Only I've got to go and see to Stan's hot pot now.
You have been on those windows for the last 2 hours, Mrs. Ogden.
Oh, yeah, that's as maybe, Mrs. Walker, but I've had to give a bit of thought to that other, haven't
Yes,
I?
well, you're not the only one who's had to do some thinking about that distasteful business. But I could hardly lock those doors while I was doing my thinking, could I?
Of course you couldn't, Mrs. Walker. That's why I thought I'd better do a bit of thinking for you, like.
You're not going to let her get away with that, are you?
What?
Talking to you like that.
Ah, well, you got to make allowances, haven't you? She's got a lot on her mind, you know.
Hey?
Hey, man, she doesn't see you mocking her.
I thought you were in a hurry, Mrs. Ogden.
Yeah, I am. I'm just off, Mrs. Walker. When she's in this mode,
Yeah.
I've seen flies drop off the ceiling.
Ah, yes, well, every Sexton Blake has his tinker.
Twist it on.
What, me and all of? I can't stand up here all day propping up the bar.
What do you mean? I'll be back out at it by 3:30.
Oh, sorry, love, I thought you had a long lunch hour.
Me? I'm only standing here because you're here, love.
Oh, I didn't know you still cared.
I keep it well hidden.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll have a large gin and tonic as a token of your undying love.
A large gin and tonic, Bet, please.
All right. Next week, honest.
Oh, yeah, like this week.
I promise I'll write to the Duke and cancel the garden party.
You're all taught you. Take you to Bellevue, save your pocket money. If you're a good girl, I might even buy you a
This
candy
job
floss.
came up, didn't it? Here. It's her. Look, she's doing this week's.
Hey, let's have a look. There you are. Much more like him.
And you've quite finished.
Well, if a fella has no intentions of taking you out, he shouldn't ask you.
I was going to. Oh, it's like talking to a flipping brick wall.
Promised to take me to Bellevue, he did.
Yes, well, you know why he can't, don't you? Because he knows they won't let him out of there again. Do you know, I did hear that a certain person nipped off to St Anne's a little bit sharpish when she heard that Annie Walker was on the warpath.
Now, you're not suggesting that Ina would do such a wicked thing as them cartoons.
No, but I mean, we don't really know, do we? But I mean, it does look a bit suspicious, doesn't it?
Hey, come to think of it, she did do her own Christmas cards a couple of years back. Very smart reindeer, if I remember right, even though it did only have 3 legs.
That wasn't a reindeer, it was a robin, and it takes Ina all the time to draw her breath.
Well, that she's got hidden depths.
Oh, well, then it must be very deep, then. And you, talking of drawing, you used to be very good when you was at school. I've still got some of your pictures.
Hello, secrets, Lucille.
Did a lovely one of my bobbies, she did.
Didn't happen to do a lovely one of our Annie and our Len and all, did she?
She just might at that.
Oh, and listen, who's talking?
What are you looking at me for?
I happen to know another little kiddie who was a dab hand with a paintbrush.
Him? He might be daft as one, but painting, nah.
And who was it who did them drawings of Elsie's house in Altrincham that never was? I mean, it wasn't flaming Picasso.
Hello, Dave.
Hi, Ken.
Come on.
Am I interrupting?
No, not at all. Come in. There's me going the door expecting the man from the pool to bring me a small fortune.
And you found somebody had dumped a life-size David Robbins on your doorstep. Well, that must have been a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, well, considering I don't do the pools, it wasn't all that much of a shock that you weren't the man from the pools, I mean.
Hey, I thought I wasn't interrupting anything.
Well, you did come along to finish this off for me, didn't you? There might be a couple of quid in it for you.
Oh, make it a 5 and I'll paint it books and all.
No, I'm on my own. I thought I'd get on with a bit. I discovered that boisterous twins and wet paint were incompatible.
How's everything going, mate? Settling down a bit?
Yeah, slowly. It's a bit easier now the twins are up in Glasgow. Val's mother's looking after them, you know. Of course, I haven't seen you since...
No.
Hey, you're still living over the brush of that barmaid?
She was not a barmaid. She was landlord's daughter and I was not living over the brush.
Well, over the saloon bar, then.
No, as a matter of fact, I've moved into the middle class belt.
Traitor.
Yeah, just over the other side of town. I got a flat in Fallowfield. One of those converted cotton baron mansions off Wilbraham Road. You must come on over.
Yeah, I'd like to. It gets a bit lonely sometimes.
I wasn't intending to fill your lonely hours, Kenneth.
Oh, fat chance of that, mate. You know, at one time I used to long for a little bit of peace and quiet, and now I've got it. Hey-ho.
Well, we both know that, see, mate.
Yeah. Oh, how are things with you, then?
Oh, same old Dave, same job, same suit. Just a bit older, that's all.
I'm going to see the world. I get myself a cushy number teaching some millionaire's son or something like that. Who was it who said that, then?
I knew another lad with big ideas.
Yeah, well, we can all dream, can't we? Hey, have you eaten?
You joking? Teachers can't afford to eat before 6.
Right, well, I'll just nip out and get a couple of pies and a couple of bottles then. That is, if you don't mind slumming.
No, come on, let's go over to the Rovers.
The Rovers.
Oh, they sell beer, don't they?
Yeah, it's not to do with the beer, mate. It's to do with hats and flowers and shows and people. Particularly people who don't like to see themselves as other people see them. Huh? Come on, and you'll find out.
It's no good arguing, Lucille. You will never convince me. When I was your age, there was no such thing as discotheques.
That's your hard luck then, isn't it?
And during the summer, it would be a walk in the park after tea. Men really knew how to treat girls in those days.
I'll bet they did.
They were the sort of the evening that memories are made of, and very much healthier than sitting perspiring in a smoky cellar half the night.
We don't all smoke pot and dance round with out on, you know.
I am well aware of that, Lucille, but your generation didn't invent permissiveness, you know. You just made the word in fashion.
Eh?
Oh, you needn't look so surprised, my dear. I can recall incidents that happened at Saturday dances in Whalley Range that, well, to put it in your idiom, would make your hair curl.
Little secrets coming out then, eh?
No more secret then than it is today. The only difference was we didn't have television and the paper shouting it out all the time.
Well, if you're as bad as us, what are you carting on about?
Look, Lucille, all I am pointing out is that the things that go on today have been going on far longer than you think, among certain people. But that doesn't alter the fact that the park is a good deal healthier than a crowded cellar.
Not with some of the fellas I know it isn't. Isn't that right, Miss Nugent?
I'm sorry, Lucille. I seem to have missed it.
There's no answer to that.
I was just explaining to Lucille that there's nothing novel about permissiveness.
Oh, the saga continues.
Me Auntie Annie doesn't seem to understand that my knees are different to what hers was.
I appreciate that, Lucille, but I still deplore extremes.
But that's true of anything, Mrs. Walker. There's always someone who'll go too far and spoil it for the rest.
I think Mrs. Ogden's having trouble with the flies.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, dinner, Mrs. Walker, but I'd just like a quick word.
I thought you'd gone home. Can't it wait?
Yeah, well, I have. I had, but to come back 'cause it's important. I've had a thought.
Well, get on with it.
Well, it's a bit private, like. It's to do with, you know, that other.
Oh, yes. Well, go on.
I found a clue.
What clue?
Thought you'd be pleased.
I'd be pleased if I knew what it was.
Yeah, well, you see, I've been having a look at them drawings again, and it suddenly dawned. A certain person's missing.
Oh, there are a lot of people missing.
Oh, yeah, but this is one in particular. One of the judges. Miss Emily flippin' Nugent.
Haven't you made up your mind yet, Mr. Tatlock?
Hang on a minute, that's no way to treat a customer.
Customer, you're not buying anything, you just asked me to give you a proof.
Look, you're not helping things, are you? Rushing me.
There's only two of you in your bowl.
Oh, it's not easy. Not done very flattering, are they?
Well, I still don't see why you have to look at all the other prints as well.
Well, I'm entitled to make me choice, aren't I?
I should have closed a quarter of an hour ago. Look, take them both.
Look, I haven't made my mind up yet.
I know. Take them all, sort out which one you want at home, and bring the rest back this afternoon, right?
Now, look, I'm entitled to make my choice here, same as everybody else. Hey, this one's got proof on it.
They're all proofs. That's what you asked to see.
To see, I know, but not to take home.
I should have been close for dinner by rights, Mrs. Caldwell, but if it's anything I can do quickly...
Well, I don't think it is. I want a picture frame. Only, I want to try my picture in it first, see which one I like best.
Ah, well, yes, in that case, I think it would be better if you could come back later.
Hey, you're supposed to be serving me.
I'm only trying to save Mrs. Caldwell waiting. Might as well let one of us get some dinner.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Bishop. I'll come back later.
Thank you.
No, don't go on my account. I've nearly made my mind up.
I'll come back.
Thank you.
I'll have to take that one. It's not too bad, really.
I'll put it in a bag.
Hey, haven't you got one of them folder things? Just mind you, it might not exactly flatter me, but at the same time, it doesn't insult me.
I should hope not.
Not like them things at paper.
Paper? Oh, you mean the cartoon?
Yeah, I'm disgraceful that one. It weren't a bit like me.
Oh, I thought it was the one of you was rather good. You to a T, Mr. T, if you'll forgive the play on words.
If I'd known I were going to be insulted, I wouldn't have come here in the first place. I'd have taken my business somewhere else.
Well, looking at 'em won't get 'em done, will it?
What?
The pots, or are we going to chuck 'em out and buy new ones for tea?
I'll give you a hand, Lucille.
No, it's all right, I'll do them. You did them this morning.
You feeling all right?
Of course I am, but you must have plenty to do.
Yeah. I was just wondering whether to fly to Paris for the afternoon or go to Ascot.
Lucille, dear, did you remember to cancel my hairdressing appointment?
I phoned this morning, didn't I?
Oh, yes, of course you did. I wonder, love, would you slip round just to make sure the message was passed on? You know what these girls are like. Before they get busy.
All right. I shouldn't think they'd forget to change it, Mrs. Walker.
No, perhaps not. But there are some things one wishes to be sure of.
I seem to have seen a lot of these lately.
I'm sure you have. They upset a great many people.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly what the artist intended, but I must admit he's certainly put the cat among the pigeons.
Don't you?
Pardon?
Know what the artist's motives were?
I'm not a thought reader, Mrs. Walker, and I'm certainly not qualified to speak with any authority on the emotional effect they've had on certain people.
No, you're not.
Well, I was let off the hook for some odd reason.
Very odd.
I don't see what you're getting at.
Don't you? Doesn't it strike you as strange that out of all the judges and organisers, you were the only one to be let off the hook, as you so aptly put it?
Surely you're not implying that I had anything to do with these outrageous lampoons? I swear I knew nothing until they appeared in the paper. And I'm not the only personality missing either.
You're the only one from round here.
You could say the same thing about the mayor, but I don't suppose you think he did it. Or do you? Believe me, Mrs. Walker, I'm as eager to see this candidous person brought to book as you are, but I would have thought there were some people you knew well enough to put above this sort of thing. It seems I was wrong.
Now, can you owe me £2?
I have to make do with a cup of coffee. Hey, Dave, I've just been thinking, what were you saying about that news theatre? I've not been back since I left university.
Oh, I took you for a man of tradition.
The scourge of industry.
What, a news theatre?
Yeah, tea breaks. I reckon we must have seen every Three Stooges film that was ever made.
Oh, those endless Flash Gordon serials. Flash Gordon, I wonder whatever happened to him.
Buster Crabbe was my favourite.
Ah, he was good, wasn't he?
Dave? Were you really in love with Val?
Yeah. Yes, of course I was. It wasn't hard, was it, Ken? I mean, Val was Val, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I've no regrets, you know, about falling for her. Except you, I suppose.
Didn't stop you at the time, did it?
Well, it's Val I was in love with, wasn't it? Not that she was in love with me, I told you that the day of the funeral.
Yeah, yes, I know.
She was just trying to hit out at you, mate. I was just a hammer.
You know, if Mrs. T could see this place now, she'd slap an eviction order on me before we get the money back on the empties. They're all true, you know.
What are?
Mother-in-law jokes.
Oh, they got the uses, I suppose.
Yeah, we're the last one to deny it now.
And it is true, you know, Ken, what they say about time being the big hero.
Yes, I know. You know, I still come in there at night and I expect Val to come out of the kitchen and meet me. And sometimes when I'm down here marking at night, I just feel sure I can hear her walking about upstairs.
So you both have in common, isn't it? Memories.
Hey, were you joking when you were talking about the group?
Of course I wasn't joking. We'd be living in luxury now if we'd kept it going.
Yeah, just one big drawback there. It wouldn't work.
What was that?
We could all read music.
Oh, well, we could, but I remember a certain young horn player.
If I try it and I don't like it, will you give us my money back?
Certainly open everything in the shop. Muggins here won't mind.
You can't tell from outside.
Well, it sounds all right on the label.
You don't eat the label. Come on, you're supposed to be helpful. Most shops would tell you they'd had it in for the dinner and it were very nice.
Well, I didn't, did I?
No, but you could say you did, then I'd take it in home and enjoy it.
Oh, why don't you stick to beans on toast?
Perhaps I'd better.
Right, do you want ordinary beans, curried beans or sausage and beans?
Oh, I'm stuck again. Decisions.
Do you know, if anybody asks you to tell the difference between margarine and butter, you better have the week off work. And there is no charge for the advice.
Well, I'm pleased about that. I'm not paying for something I never had.
Oh, if you've come for something for your tea, the chip is open.
Oh, is that the way to speak to your best customer?
Well, Fanny Craddock here, honestly. It took her half an hour to decide just to have beans on toast. If it's catching, I'll be here all night.
Well, you no need to worry on my account. All I want is a quarter of tea.
Hey, I nearly forgot. Mrs. Walker wants a quarter now.
Should have
I'll
thought
take it out of this.
a gallon of paraffin had been more in her line.
Come again.
Breathing flames of fire over everybody in the Rovers at lunchtime.
Well, it's no more than some folk deserve.
What do you mean?
If folk had stopped taking the mickey, she might just go off the boil.
Well, if she didn't take it so serious, folk might stop taking the mickey.
Look, I know it's a bit of a giggle down here, but I have to put up with it day and night. So do us a favour, will you? If you two ladies happen to call in later, talk about the weather.
Yeah, and I'll be the next man to fly to the moon.
If I didn't know you better, I'd say something was knacking Mrs. Howard tonight.
And I'd say you were dead right, Mr. Flaming Howard.
Alan?
Yeah. He's just had another phone call, another rush job.
Well, that's the price of responsibility.
Yeah, well, maybe the price comes a bit too high.
Maybe you don't know when you're well off.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he might be late home now and again, but at least you have got a fella to come home to you sooner or later.
Hey, this brings it back, doesn't it? Upstairs doing with the mucky duck Saturday night. Do you remember?
Oh, could I ever forget? I don't know. They are living an example of what's killing live entertainment.
Oh, well, give it a chance. But you haven't touched that thing in years.
Let's see now. It's about 2 years, I reckon. A couple of Christmases ago, when we had that street bonfire.
Well, there you are, then. And I'm not exactly in the Segovia, Clark.
Well, I don't know. You know, now I've got a bit more time.
What about it, then?
What?
I'm getting in touch with a few of the lads, drumming up a bit of a session.
Oh, come off. You must be joking. They're all in the same state of decay as we are, moral and physical.
Maybe, and maybe they're glad of a chance. They would be glad of a chance anyway, to get out of their middle-class respectability, even if it's only for a couple of hours.
Did I tell you?
What?
Fatty Berry.
Oh, I thought he moved down south.
No, he's moved back up again. The best drummer in the business.
Yeah,
But
he was
now
brilliant, wasn't he?
you would not know him.
Oh, what's up with him?
4 kids, bank manager, plays bridge twice a week, and wait for it, makes matchstick models of stately homes.
Oh, no.
Tell you, Dave, it's too late to turn the clock back. Too much water under the bridge.
Well, I still think it's worth a try. I mean, Robert Fatty wasn't the only one, was he?
I'll tell you what, I bet you £1 to a penny, and I'm in a new one. They've all joined the meet you twice a week and clean the car on Sunday brigade.
Just like us, eh?
The phone's over there.
Oh, Lucy, would you slip this book back at Kenneth's for me, dear? He lent it to me last week, and as it's a library book...
Hasn't he been in?
Well, if he has, I haven't seen him.
Well, he intended to. I saw him this morning. He said he'd be in at dinner.
Well, I didn't see him, I do assure you.
Oh, funny, eh?
What is Miss Walton?
Him avoiding us, like.
Well, I wouldn't say he was avoiding us.
All right. Well, I happened to see our Mr. Barlow and that Dave Robbins at dinner time, and they was taking some bottles in. Now, if they didn't get them here...
Bet? Are you sure Ken Barlow didn't come in at lunchtime?
Well, if he did, he crept under the door. I've been here from opening till closing.
I'm telling you, mate, he never played for the first team.
And I'm telling you, he did. What about that penalty when he broke the net?
Oh, that was Northern Ireland International.
Well, there you are, then.
Where?
Well, if he played for his country, mate, he must have played for the first team.
I tell you, he didn't, mate. He was in the reserves then. He got transferred before he made the first team.
Yeah, pull the other one that's got bells on.
I'm telling you.
Double of quits. True and right.
You're on.
Right.
Same difference, isn't it? It's all to do with drawing.
It's now to do with drawing Ken's degrees for languages.
Well, it's arts, like Mrs. Walker said.
No, Lucille does happen to be right, but that doesn't explain why he seems to be avoiding us.
Well, I told you, didn't I? Happen he's got good reason.
Oh, I think you're both wrong. Kenneth would never do a thing like that.
Oh, well, you could say that about everybody, couldn't you? But the fact remains, them drawings didn't do themselves. Isn't that right, Mrs. Walker?
Yes. Oh, but Kenneth?
Ask her. I saw her talking to him this morning.
Well, ask me what, Lucy?
Oh, them drawings. Kenneth would never do a thing like that, would he?
He's hardly likely to tell her, is he?
He's no less likely to confide in me than he is to confide in you, Mrs. Ogden.
Oh, but you don't reckon it was Ken, though, do you?
I can assure you, Lucille, that whatever thoughts I've had on the possible identity of Candidus hardly fit Ken Barlow.
Well, who do you think it might be, Miss Nugent?
You'd better ask Mrs. Walker. She's the one who's full of bright ideas on that subject.
Oh, yeah. Can't understand it, Mrs. Radcliffe. You should have had them by now. I've had a good look round here. I can't find them anywhere. Yeah. Oh, hold on, will you? There's somebody at the door.
Well, Ernest,
Oh,
I'm just
Emily.
passing.
Hey, you remember the Radcliffe wedding last month?
Yes.
I can't find the pictures, and there's Mrs. Radcliffe on the phone now.
Well, I'll have you look.
Oh, would you try over there? Hello, do forgive me, Mrs. Radcliffe. It was a late customer. Look, can I ring you back? I promise I'll turn the whole shop upside down. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mrs. Radcliffe. Yes, I promise I won't be long. Just can't understand it.
Well, you did handle that order yourself.
I know. Look, you carry on. I'll try in the dark room.